Blake, I told you, girl, the call is coming from inside the fucking house. Pick up. Ryan Reynolds is saying he doesn't need to be here. He didn't ask for this. He doesn't have shit to do with it. Than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Miss Lively has suffered. So y'all are broke. If y'all are broke, just say that. Just say you can't pay these lawyers. I know it ain't cheap. Paying lawyer fees for 3 months. You truly believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours. Forever and ever.
Y'all, it doesn't look like this situation with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni is going to end in anything other than chaos. Because the moment we start thinking that we've heard the last of it, some more drama pops up, and it gets even more chaotic than we assumed was possible. Ryan Reynolds has been quite loud about how he has his wife's back and how he's going to stand 10 toes down with his wife because he truly believes that she's in the right. He has been praising her for doing the right thing by standing up for herself in the face of trouble, which made him seem like the most perfect husband in the world. But it looks like we might be wrong about that, because word on the streets is that there is a new video swirling around that proves that Blake pretty much strong-armed Ryan into declaring her support for her because she believed that it would do good for her public image in the face of Justin Baldoni exposing her.
Her attorney said that we should get those by the end of next week. And now, of course, from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, we heard a little bit about their plan too. He talked about how they want this case moving forward as quickly as possible.
Ryan is one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, and everyone loved him. And it seems like Blake was banking on using some of the love to sway public opinion to her side. Well, it looks like the negativity is proving to be too much for Ryan to bear because he just filed a motion to remove himself from the lawsuit. Get this, he's not trying to get the case thrown out of court. He's trying to get himself removed from the case, and it looks like he is sick and tired of Blake forcing his hand. So does this mean that Justin Baldoni was innocent the whole time, and has Ryan been covering up for Blake? Let's break this down.
I know why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out for the first time since all the drama to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. At the end of the day, this is all for PR.
In a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out, and I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable.
Okay.
Is Ryan Reynolds
mean?
like he's
Canadian?
Look, you punch
It's
a couple
super
hundred
annoying.
orphans and suddenly you're mean. This is what I don't understand.
Like I said, Ryan has solidly been on Blake's side this entire case. So imagine how shook we were to find out that he wants out. Not only does he want out, but he wants out so bad that he filed a motion with the court to remove him from the case, claiming that it has nothing to do with him and Justin should have never named him in the first place. For some context, Ryan got involved in the case when he took shots at Justin in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine.
And Reynolds, has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, he's used it, on Deadpool to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
Justin claimed that the character, Nice Pool, which was introduced at the end of Deadpool vs. Wolverine, was meant to mock him, and he dragged Marvel and Disney into the lawsuit, as well as Ryan. According to reports, Brian Friedman sent a legal letter to Marvel boss Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger, accusing Reynolds of taking direct aim during the segment. In the scene where Reynolds plays a Deadpool variant, Nice Pool, he says, "Where in the God's name is the intimacy coordinator?" To top it off, he praises Lady Deadpool for snapping back after having a baby while remarking feminism. Baldoni reportedly believes it was a meticulous swipe at him for touting himself as a feminist during It Ends With Us promotions. Friedman's letter demands Disney and Marvel keep all documents relating to or reflecting a deliberate attempt to mock, harass, ridicule, intimidate, or bully Baldoni through the character of Nice Pool. It also hints at potential legal claims like interference with contracts and civil extortion. Well, in his court filing, Ryan didn't even bother to deny that he was taking shots at Justin, but he instead claimed that Baldoni's thin-skinned outrage over a movie character, the satirical woke nice pool, does not even pretend to be tied to any actual legal claims. An insider also commented on this, saying, Baldoni's legal team is now going to try and do a deep dive into Deadpool and the funding for the film, as well as the actors and producers who were aware of this bullying when filming. They said the fact Reynolds has not disputed the claim that Nicepool was based on Baldoni had opened up the scope of how Baldoni's lawyers may attempt to prove that their client had been under a coordinated attack. Being Ryan admitted that the Nicepool character in Deadpool was based on Justin, he not only dragged Hugh Jackman into the forefront and the directors and producers of the film, but also Disney. Well, Ryan is now trying to get that tossed out, and according to reports, in his recent legal request, Reynolds described himself as a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Lively endured. An insider went on to say that. Ryan also claimed Baldoni was attempting to shame him for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and stand with her. Oh, and y'all remember his claims about Justin allegedly being a predator? Well, his legal team is backing him up on that, saying that it isn't defamation because Ryan does believe Justin to be a predator. Court documents said the first amended complaint alleges no plausible facts that suggest Mr. Reynolds did not believe this comment to be true. Instead, the relevant allegations suggest that Mr. Reynolds genuinely, perhaps passionately, believes that Mr. Baldoni's behavior is reflective of a predator. The entirety of Mr. Baldoni's case appears to be based on Mr. Reynolds allegedly privately calling Mr. Baldoni a predator. But here is the problem. That is not defamation unless they can show that Mr. Reynolds did not believe that statement to be true. So they're pretty much saying that since Ryan didn't defame Justin by calling him a predator, Justin's lawsuit has no merit and should be thrown out. However, Justin's lawyer called BS on Ryan's motion, saying, Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client, and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. His fingerprints have been all over this smear campaign against Justin since day one. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The claims against him are real and they are serious. However, fans are now calling BS on Ryan's motion to dismiss. And there are rumors flying about that the only reason he got involved in the first place was that Blake pretty much bullied him into it, because she believed that things would be easier for her if she had her powerful husband to back her up. I mean, y'all remember her text to Justin, where she compared herself to Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, saying, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
Reynolds says Baldoni's lawsuit won't hold up in court. He says him referring to Baldoni as a predator is constitutionally protected opinion. Blake's husband also rips Baldoni's lawsuit as essentially a burned book and claims Justin is trying to shame him for sticking up for his wife. Ryan, I'm still waiting for you to show us one single text message between you and Blake within the time of production that shows her distress, her discomfort, her pain, her suffering, anything. You're telling me your wife was being SH'd at work and you guys did not talk about it in text, in email one time? And I don't want to hear he was on set. He was on set a few times. There were multiple days of production where he was filming Deadpool and she was on set with Justin. You knew this whole time. You've been paying lawyer fees for 3 months.
Well, word on the streets is that not even her husband is safe from her bullying because she allegedly forces him to do what she wants, like get involved in her legal drama because it makes her look better. Now, for those who don't know, this isn't the first time that Blake has been accused of being a bully. Word on the street is that Blake was so awful to a former assistant during the filming of the movie, A Simple Favor, that the assistant ended up throwing in the towel and quitting. Yikes. The assistant director, Barbara Seaman, randomly decided to add her own behind-the-scenes tea to the mix. It all started off when a Simple Favor star Henry Golding posted about the upcoming sequel, Another Simple Favor. That's when Barbara slid into the comments and casually dropped a bomb, saying she actually walked away from the first movie because of how Blake treated her. And let's be clear, this isn't just some random online chatter. This is coming from someone who was actually on set. Barbara wrote, "I worked with you on the first one. My experience with everyone was absolutely amazing, except for a certain someone who is the reason I quit being an AD. Guess who that person is? I wish you all the best with this though." She ended up deleting the post, but y'all know that you can never fully delete anything from the internet. She got so much support from fans that she opened up more, saying, "Thanks for the kindness. I want to avoid attention around this, but I will say she was cruel to many. I know I cried my way home many nights because you try so hard to please someone who is never pleased and puts you down constantly. I can't believe it's actually getting back at her. Karma is real." Barbara isn't the only one who has accused Blake of being a bully, because multiple crew members over the years have also spoken up about the same experience. A crew member who worked on Gossip Girl made the same claim, saying, "Unfortunately, my experience with Blake was not good. She came across as a bully. When fans wanted to take pictures with them, Leighton was always available, but Blake didn't have the time. With the crew, it was more the way she was speaking to them, like she was a toddler. If she was not having what she wanted, she would start making a scene, just being disrespectful and rude. I witnessed the way she was talking to other people on set, crew, other actors, and it just wasn't a good vibe." I'm not trying to bash Blake Lively, I am just talking about my experience and the fact I saw her acting like a bully. This has nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. This happened in 2010, way before Justin Baldoni. There's a reason why so many people coming from different places all over the world still have the same experience of her. What does that say? All of us have had the same kind of experiences with her. Justin Baldoni's team also claimed to have receipts of Blake being a mean girl and a bully, and they said, "We are releasing all of the evidence which will show a pattern of bullying and threats to take over the movie. None of this will come as a surprise, because consistent with her past behavior, Blake Lively used other people to communicate those threats and bully her way to get whatever she wanted. We have all the receipts and more."
Truly believe you don't have nothing to do with this? Your lawyer should have dismissed you from this case from get-go. But no, you all thought you were gonna get away with all the crap. Now that it's not looking good for you, you want a little separation. That's your wife. You're gonna stick beside her. That's the bone of your bone, the rib of your rib. That's yours forever and ever. You're going down together. That should be a song. I just want to see the one text message. She texted you saying, "Ryan, today's hard for me. Justin came in my trailer and he looked at me," what did I say, with his head full of hair. And yeah, and then I invited him on the jet with us and with me and the kids because I was so scared of him. Show me one text message and I'm Team Blake. But you don't got it. See you in 2026.
Well, the streets are now saying that Blake's bullying is the reason Ryan even got involved in this mess in the first place. Oh, and remember that SNL joke?
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
At first, Ryan tried to claim that the joke was scripted by SNL, but it looks like the producers of SNL had learned from Disney being dragged into the lawsuit because they immediately made it clear that they did not want a part of the legal drama, and they immediately distanced themselves from the joke. After the SNL show ended, longtime cue card handler Wally Forreston, better known as Cue Card Wally, made an appearance on the Australian radio show Fifi, Fev, and Nick to break down all the behind-the-scenes moments from the night. Of course, it didn't take long before one of the hosts hit him with the burning question on everyone's mind. Was Ryan Reynolds' joke planned, or was it truly an off-the-cuff moment? Well, let's just say Wally didn't leave much room for speculation. His response made it very clear that this wasn't some spontaneous in-the-moment remark. In other words, Ryan's joke was locked in ahead of time, which means he knew exactly what he was doing. And let's be honest, that just makes it even worse.
Now, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it. We wouldn't want to do anything too controversial unless they were in on it. So yeah, that was his line. That was his idea to do.
By this point, fans weren't even surprised that Ryan would pull something like this. They were just blown away by how desperate he and Blake seemed to be for a PR reset. Like, was there anything they wouldn't do to win back public favor, even if it meant throwing someone else under the bus? Yikes. Naturally, Ryan's team wasn't about to let Wally's comments go unchecked. They wasted no time jumping into damage control mode, ready to push back and set the narrative straight, saying, the opening joke was pitched by SNL and never changed. The follow-up joke was rewritten in rehearsal. A rep for NBC also seemed to back Ryan up, saying, this is not true, while a source close to SNL said, Wally is not part of the writing process or part of any of those decisions. Justin's lawyer also had something to say about it, expressing shock that Ryan would joke about something he claimed was so traumatizing for his wife.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that seemed like that might be the latest move.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that, and so it surprised me.
Ryan is going down hard for this, and it's not surprising that he would want to distance himself from the drama, especially since there are reports of him getting fired by Disney as a result of this hot mess because it broke Disney's morality clause. Word on the street is that Ryan secured a very comfortable $30 million paycheck for his role in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Now, sure, the movie went on to make over $1 billion at the box office, so it's not like they couldn't afford him. But still, insiders say his sky-high salary wasn't exactly sitting well with the higher-ups. Apparently, some of the producers were already side-eyeing how much he was pulling in. And this isn't the first time his payday has raised eyebrows. Let's rewind for a second. Ryan reportedly made around $20 million for the first Deadpool, and when the sequel came around, that number almost doubled. And keep in mind, that's just his upfront fee. Once you factor in his percentage of the profits, his earnings climb even higher, making him one of the highest paid actors in the industry. And while that might sound great for Ryan, it allegedly had some executives at the network feeling a little salty. Now, throw in the fact that he's smack in the middle of this messy controversy, allegedly breaking a morality clause in his contract. Yeah, you can see how this might be a problem. The last thing these studios want is an actor making that much money while bringing them the kind of PR nightmares they didn't sign up for. Let's just say things might not look too good for him behind the scenes. Reports of him getting canned first started going around a couple of days ago when an insider tweeted, "Heard Ryan Reynolds got fired by Marvel for using Deadpool and Wolverine to mock and bully another director. Hope that's true. Finally, no more Green Lantern jokes that stopped being funny 10 years ago." To be fair, most people doubted that Ryan would actually get the boot, especially considering how wildly popular his character is. I mean, Deadpool is a massive moneymaker, and Ryan is basically the face of the franchise. But then again, this is Disney we're talking about. And if there's one thing they don't play about, it's lawsuits. At the end of the day, Disney will drop anybody, no matter how big their name is, if they think that person is putting the company's image and their money at risk. They've done it before, and they'll do it again. So if this drama keeps spiraling and turning into a bigger headache for the execs, well, let's just say nobody should feel too safe. With Justin getting fired and being on the bad side of the public, well, let's just say that it's not all that surprising that he decided to remove himself from this mess before it got even worse. It's not clear if it's the bad publicity that finally made him snap, or if it's him getting fired by Disney. But it looks like he is finally done with the drama and just wants to go back to being one of the most loved actors in Hollywood. Even if it means that his wife is still keep getting dragged as a result of this mess. Well, Justin has something to say about Ryan's motion for dismissal, and his lawyer said, laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda. As we said in response to Mr. Reynolds' cowardly measures, we will continue to hold Ms. Lively accountable for her actions of pure malice, which include falsely accusing my clients of harassment and retaliation. Her fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof. Ryan and Blake are going to have to dance with the one that brought them here, and if they expect us to help educate them on how to do this properly, then they are going to the hardware store for milk.
What was the meeting like when you're discussing with Disney the jokes about Disney?
The fun story would be that Disney was just appalled at everything and was never going to let us do anything. But that's on one hand. On the other hand, money. They had a lot of faith in us to deliver and to self-govern. So yes, there's jokes in there that I personally cannot believe they let us.
And in fairness, because we were like the kind of good boy students turning in our script every once in a while, and every time we sent a script, we were like kind of waiting, and the pushback never came, and it became clear that on this movie, funny wins.
Really, there was one joke, one line that they asked me to take out.
When I was on set, I was like, there's no way that's going to be it.
Yeah, I have a joke about Hugh that I couldn't believe he let me say in the movie. So that passes. I was like, wow, he let that go.
Ryan just might have bitten off more than he can chew, but I want to know how y'all feel about this, so drop your thoughts in the comments and then check out this next video.